Hey, Happy New Year. I'm Adam, and this is The Viable Edge. If you found me through the Vibe Marketer community and subscribed, thank you. I was featured in a recent email, and it's been amazing to see so many new people here. If you're not in that community yet, I'll drop an affiliate link below. It's really worth checking out. Quick note, I'm leading a Claude Code mentor session for beginners on January 15th, hosted by the Vibe Marketer community, and it's free. So if you're trying to get started with vibe coding, that's a great place to be. And I'll drop a link in the comments to where you can learn more. All right, let me show you what I've been working on. Over the holiday break, I VibeCoded an app called PDP Forge. It's for e-commerce managers who are constantly battling product image updates. I spent most of my career in CPG, big companies, massive product catalogs, and getting product photos was always a bottleneck. Expensive, slow, and it holds up everything downstream. I've seen the same thing with my consulting clients, smaller teams, but with the same problem. They have to stop everything just to update product images before they can run a promotion. So I built a solution, and I think this is the perfect example of where vibe coding meets vibe marketing, using code to solve real-world marketing problems. I'm going to walk you through how I built it, the tools, the platforms, the challenges, and if you stick to the end, I'll share the exact prompt chain that got me from zero to working prototype. I also work with businesses and individuals on exactly this kind of thing, where marketing strategy meets AI implementation. If you're interested in chatting about it, I'm leaving a booking link in the description. Let's get into it. So here's how all of this came together. I was working with a client that needed to update a series of e-commerce photos. A lot of the images were scrappy iPhone shots. A lot of the packaging was crushed or blemished, kind of like what we're looking at here. So we needed an easy and quick and cost-effective way to correct those packaging issues so the products would look great on their PDPs. And that led to a simple function, fixed packaging, which we then applied to the catalog to get rid of all of those blemishes. And this was the very first functionality of the first prototype for PDP Forge built in Google AI Studio. And you can see that it still works. We have a fixed packaging version, and this is actually using the older Nano Banana prior to the Pro release. Fast forward to when Gemini 3 came out, and I wanted to revisit this and see what Gemini 3 and Nano Banana Pro could do. So here's my exact prompt that I used to kick off the second prototype of what would become PDP Image Forge. And I'm pretty sure that I verbalized this, and I'm going to share this prompt in the description. Once this version of the prototype was created, I cloned it to my GitHub, which then allowed me to download it locally on my machine and use Google Antigravity to take it from prototype to full app. And if you haven't worked with Antigravity, I highly recommend it. Antigravity allowed me to build the backend, which uses Supabase and Google authentication for account management. And Supabase handles all of the image storage, all of the edge functions, and for this purpose is proving to be a complete backend solution, aside from hosting, which is done through Vercel. So if you haven't checked out Antigravity yet, when you first open it, you're going to see the editor view. And the editor view might look something more like a traditional IDE like Cursor or VS Studio, but don't get intimidated. If you open the Agent Manager, you're working with something that looks a little bit more like a traditional LLM, where you can simply chat and vibe code through plain language with barely even having to use terminal or file navigator. I barely ever use the editor and spend most of my time in agent mode. Along the way, Google Stitch is another platform that became super handy. And Google Stitch allows you to take images or UI designs and iterate them and update them. So when you're working with Google Stitch, you can literally drop a screenshot into the chat and ask it to create revisions for you. So this is how I was refining some of the other pages and the main view within PDP Forge. And once you have some images that you like, what you can do within Google Stitch is you can actually generate code that you can import directly into your project. So you can generate code, copy and paste that right into a prompt or into a blank file and work from there. Google Stitch also allows you to import these designs directly into Google AI Studio. So you can even start a prototype from the UI design phase and then go that route, which I've done a couple of times. Antigravity has made it pretty straightforward to integrate Stripe as well. And I'm also using Resend as a email delivery provider. Even a few months ago, Stripe was a huge pain in the butt but it's become fairly straightforward now. Once you've gone through the Stripe integration once, you can do it again. All right, let's get a look at PDP Forge in action. I've got a blank canvas here, and I have this sideways photo of Graza olive oil that I took with my iPhone on a kitchen counter, very scrappy. That image is uploaded. All right, cool. And what we can do from here is rotate that so it's the proper dimension. And then I'm going to create a fresh hero image for this product. And this will be our main image. All right, looks great. We can actually get rid of this. And one thing I want to call out here is that along with the image, we have alt text that has been automatically generated and attached to this image, saving us a few steps and things to remember down the line. Now let's get a couple of lifestyle images. The first thing I want is a lifestyle image with people. Let's see how that goes. And while that's generating, let's create some AI specific recommendations that will take a look at the product and then provide recommendations based on this specific product. So detected the olive oil bottle. Great. We've got someone using it while they're cooking. And about a gourmet pizza topping. That sounds pretty good. So let's click that, and that's going to fill out our prompt box, and let's generate. Let's check out the alt text here. Looks good. Hand pours Graza extra virgin olive oil from a dark green squeeze bottle. Perfect. And keep in mind, I did not tell the app that this is Graza. It's reading that from the product itself. Cool. I feel like we need something that is a little bit more just focused on the product itself. So let's actually look at our layouts. The app features a bunch of layouts, and you can create new layouts, which are a standard set of prompts intended to give you a consistent output across different products. So if we have our kitchen and culinary layout, for example, let's choose our hero and click that. And we can just use this button to easily and quickly, arrange our canvas. Great. Now we've got it on the kitchen counter. And we have it among some coffee beans and a croissant, which is in the prompt. So you could create a layout and you can add whatever prompts you want to customize that and get consistent output. But the next thing we need to do actually is add this to a product, because these new images are not associated with any product. So we're going to create a new brand, Graza. All right. And then we're going to create a new product in Graza, olive oil. And we have a SKU number. We'll call it olive oil -123. Just making that up. Let's create that. Fantastic. And now we have our assets here in the left panel. All right. Now let's go to our library. And here's our Graza images, along with all of the other products that we have. And now when we go to Graza and we select all assets, now we're looking at specifically what's assigned to that product. And then we can select all of these, and we want to add them to a new cohort for Amazon. Great. So now these are all tagged for Amazon. And if we want to easily download these, we can come over here next to the Amazon cohort, click download. And now we have a zip file where we have each image, and we have a text file with each image's alt text that was generated for it, tagged by file name. So before I even edit this video down, this is under 9 minutes, and we've already generated all of these photos that are e-commerce PDP page ready. And we can continue going. There's other features that I have in the works, which I'm not showing quite yet, but will come later, including copy editing and a PDP page visualizer that will simulate what your products will look like on an Amazon or Walmart or Target page. So really excited to implement those pretty soon. So here's why I think this matters beyond this one app. We're at a moment where the gap between identifying a problem and building a solution is smaller than it's ever been. I'm not a developer. I'm a marketer, I think, who spent years living inside these problems at Nature's Bounty with my consulting clients, watching teams burn time and money on things that should be simple and straightforward. And now I can build my way out, and so can you. That's what vibe coding unlocks. Not just for me, for anyone who understands a problem deeply enough to describe it, basically. And here's the thing, vibe coding without vibe marketing is just building random stuff. The intersection is where real solutions get built, tools that actually solve problems by people who've lived those problems. Enterprise teams spent 6 figures on what I built in a couple of weeks. That's not bragging. That's the moment that we're in right now. If you want early access to PDP Forge, you can visit pdpforge.com and there's a sign up form there. Keep your eye on your spam or junk folders. The emails have been hitting there. So if you see that, it would be helpful if you could mark it as not spam or junk. As promised, I'm including the prompt that I use to create PDP Forge in the description. Grab it, use it, see what you can build with it, and please share it back here. Also, I'll be conducting a Claude Code mentor session focused on Claude Code for beginners in partnership with the Vibe Marketer community. I'll leave a link to that session in the comments. If you're interested in talking one-to-one, I work on projects like these with small companies and individuals. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I'm leaving a booking link in the comments. Book a call and we can talk about it. Finally, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps, especially as I'm trying to build out my new business. And of course, I invite you to also join the Viable Edge newsletter, and I'll leave a link in the comments to there as well, where I do my best to try and share updates on somewhat of a regular basis. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And Happy New Year!